Hello, my name is Peter Bui,
And Mark Savytskyi.
and this is our project one for Computer Science 141. We are tasked with returning either an improper fraction or a proper fraction given two integer inputs. How they want us to return it is using this syntax over here, where a is equivalent to a whole integer value, followed by b, that would be our remainder, followed by c, that would be our denominator. That is if our b and c values are not zero. So they briefly describe to us what proper and improper fractions are, as observed over here, where a number divided by itself would not be a would be an improper fraction, and it would instead be one. We are also given some sample cases. So for my program, I have the scanner import as well as a main function encapsulated inside of a class called isFraction3. Now, inside of our main method here, we have a character keep going assigned to the value of y. We also have our scanner object and a user prompt. As you can see here, a user is prompted in the beginning describing what this program does. Now, while our variable is equivalent to y, it's going to enter inside of a try-catch block. This try block here asks the user for a numerator and a denominator, and it assigns it as such. So we have a numerator and a denominator. Now, if the denominator is equal to 0, it's going to go ahead and go back to the top of the try block again and ask the user for a new input. So a numerator and a denominator. Once those results are inputted, it passes through this if statement because the denominator is not equal to 0, and it goes to this method here called fraction, which takes in two integer values. It first assigns these integer values into our string result variable, and it has a couple of edge cases here. So for example, if our numerator and denominator are both equivalent, that is, if the remainder is equal to 0, it returns this result over here. It returns this result over here. It can be reduced to 1. It then proceeds to ask the user, it exits this method and then asks the user if they would like to do more math, where it assigns the variable, keep going, to our next character input. In this case, we're going to press yes. Now, for the next edge case, we have a whole number 1 followed by the negative value of 2. We can tell that it is a proper fraction. Along with that, I went ahead and did a little bit of an if statement here for if the denominator is less than 0. I would like to move that negative sign up to the numerator value, as observed over here. And we're going to go ahead and keep continuing. And then for our last case over here, we're going to go ahead and go 15 divided by, let's go 6. And we're going to go ahead and trace that. So that would go ahead and put in our whole number as n over d, which would truncate any decimal values, as we see here, 2. That would be 12. And then our remainder would be 3. So that would be over here where math's not absolute, and then n modulus d, and then we would have our denominator of 6, which is returned over here. Now for our example sample runs over here, our example sample
Wait,
runs, we have, I'm going to press yes to continue. We have 16 and 3, and we observe that it returns as a mixed fraction. Yes, I would like to continue. We have 6 and 7, which should return as a proper fraction. And then we have 6 and 2, which returns as a 3.